we have an arc of history. The history has this process of the opening up of modes of existence, the exploration of those modes of existence, then the discovery of what I've taken to call a portal pathway. He calls it a joint point, where a particular mode of existence acts as the substrate, and a location in that mode of existence acts as a stable substrate that then gives rise to the mergence of a new mode of existence. And this is very concrete. You have the physics mode, right, where you're dealing with the exploration of the space, the possibility space of physics, the formation of subatomic particles, all the way through to the formation of elements. And that's all within the mode of existence of physics. Now, when we get to the population of the periodic table of elements, we start getting things like stars and supernovas. We start moving into the domain of chemistry. And we have a shift into molecules that give rise to a whole different set of capacities, a whole new set of affordances emerge into literally reality, into universe, by the way. Back to the transcendent, right? We reconnect with the transcendent. We open up this new space of possibility. It stably sits on top of the substrate of existence, right? Chemistry is ultimately grounded on physics, but it is a new kind of thing. Chemistry in the same way gives rise to biology. Biology gives rise to behavior, minds. Minded animals is how Greg refers to them. Minded animals give rise to a particular kind of hominid, Homo sapiens, that gives rise to culture, okay? Culture gives rise to the next thing. And so the singularity is to culture what culture is to behavior, and behavior is to biology. Right? It is a through line here. There's a continual recurrence. The same kind of thing happens at each joint point, which is why we can build a general theory and talk about what they are and what they look like and how they operate. But we're not going to be creating a new species, right? That's like shit that happens down at the biology level. We're creating a new ontology, right? Unless you're using species in the deeply Darwinian sense, right? A new kind of beingness, and by the way, it will be conservational, right? Minded organisms don't get rid of life. Life doesn't get rid of chemistry, right? It sits on top of and expands the portfolio of a new set of possibilities. So the thing that transcends culture will be on the basis of a particular kind of culture. Some people have called it the kingdom of heaven. Right? So a particular kind of culture where the kingdom of man or human cultures are able to so fully and so correctly be governed by the ontology of the transcendent. The human choices are increasingly impeccable, like a musician who's playing music where every single note is absolutely novel in the universe, but perfectly exactly the right note. Right? So we've seen this happen. It occurs. It doesn't happen in ordinary life. But when we get to imagine that you are living your life like a musician who is playing a perfectly harmonious piece of absolutely novel music, and I mean living your life, right? You're raising a baby, you're cooking food, you're repairing a transmission, whatever it happens to be that you're doing in this new thing that is the transcendence of culture. By the way, that's what it's like. And it ultimately is a kind of culture, which is very weird and interesting, in just the same way that culture is a kind of behavior. That's the singularity.